The rule of thumb with code quality is to avoid adding more code smells to a code base that already has quite a few problems. This is why NDepend introduces the notion of baseline in Visual Studio, in reports generated at build time, and in the Azure DevOps extension. Clicking Define the Baseline from the dashboard shows the NDepend project settings to define the baseline. Typically, the baseline is the latest released version of your application. This way, the team can focus on code changes and new code smells introduced during the current sprint. The delta since the baseline is shown for each value. Green and red colors are used to highlight improved or worsened diff. Clicking this value lists new issues introduced since the baseline. And we can open the source code for each issue, or even diff the sources. Some rules are focusing on code changes, like API breaking changes, code smells regression, like for example this rule that tracks complex methods that are now even more complex, or this rule that tracks new code not well covered by tests. By clicking Diff Since Baseline, the search panel is shown and code changes can be reviewed. The bold font is used for new code, code elements refactored are underlined, and strike-through text is used for removed code. Let's edit the code query generated to list methods refactored. With NDepend, the comparison is primarily done on compiled IL code. Hence, the diff is semantic. This clause, code was changed, only reports code behavior changes and not just source formatting or comment changes. More diff clauses are available to track visibility changes, comments changes, and even third-party code used recently or not used anymore. Notice that the dependency matrix can be used to track dependencies changes with red flags on cells. Let's dig into these two assemblies coupling changes. New method calls are cells flagged with a plus. Finally, let's underline that the diff feature can be used from the NDepend start page to compare any two versions of one or several assemblies. This way, you can track changes on libraries used by your code, even when sources are not available, since a decompiler can be plugged to NDepend. In this video, we've seen that diff since baseline can be harnessed from most NDepend code scanning and code exploration features. This way, the priority goes to the code that is currently written. New code smells can be fixed even before being committed to source control.